Okay, the number one question I get from people literally almost every single day in DMs and messages, and they're like, Natalie, how did you start an online business? And is that something that maybe I could do as well? And so I wanted to make this video today. I'm actually gonna make it as a multi-part series because there's so much that I wanna share with you, that things that I wish I would have known when I was very first getting started. And I wanna show you these 3 key secrets that I learned along the way that radically changed my life once I learned them and allowed me to create an online business. And I'll tell you, I am not techie. I was a regular stay-at-home mom. I just figured this out. And so I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited to learn about this. Again, this is something I wish so badly I would have known when I was very first getting started. So I think a lot of times people think, well, I can never start an online business because I don't have a marketing background, or I'm not techie, or I don't want to spend a bunch of money on ads, or I have 0 social media following. And that is not true. I've been doing this for over a decade now, and I've been teaching this for a long time. And what I found is that there's really 3 key things that people need to know, these surprising steps that I took as I figured this out along the way, and I want to share those with you guys. So before we hop into everything I want to share with you guys, I want to get you thinking about something, okay? In fact, let me know in the comments, leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking here, because it's fun for me to read these. I want you to think about your number 1 hobby, or maybe it's something that might seem simple to you, but that you just like really love doing, that lights you up. Like if you had no interruptions from your spouse or your kids or the construction workers happening next door, like what would that be? I mean that, like think about that. For me, that might be gardening or hiking or working out or cooking meals for my kids, right? It doesn't have to be anything big and extravagant. I want you to have that in your head. Now I want you to think about using that to make money for your family. I'm serious. I have taught this process to tens of thousands of people over the years, and it works. Promise you. Just have to follow this process and listen to what I have to say today. And I'm going to show you how all kinds of people have used this exact same process. They've used their hobbies, their life experiences, their passions to create their own wildly successful online business and income. And it's going to be fun. I think it is, at least. I'm going to show you examples of people I've taught this to who have blown this up, teaching people how to garden, who have accidentally peed their pants in a workout class, and who have grown an online one-on-one boutique. And I'm going to show you how you can make this work for you too. Now, I want to let you know kind of why I even wanted to share this with you. Now, I taught this in a live class for a long, long time. I just want to be really transparent and let you know that if you're looking for a traditional marketer teaching like weird hacks on how to sell things online, then this channel probably is not a good fit for you to keep coming back and watching videos. I want you to know I'm not about online shady stuff. I'm not. I'm all about being real and genuine and connecting with people. And something that I believe that humans are wired for connection. And that's something that's really important for you to know as you watch this YouTube video today, because what I want to show you guys today, like literally nobody else is teaching this online. And I wish so badly that I would have had these tools when I was very first getting started, because once I was able to tap into this, everything I want to show you in this video, everything in my life radically changed. So I don't know about you guys, but anybody else feel this way? I started to get really drained by following fake people online. You know what I mean? Like people who only show the perfect highlight reel or the perfectly posed photos. And for me, it felt exhausting for me to feel like I was surrounded by fake people all the time, or people who just weren't really real with us. You know what I mean? I believe that most people, probably you watching this video right now, are ready for a change with the perfect online world. And something that I believe in my heart, I believe this wholeheartedly in my core, is that the only way that you can change where you are right now, to change your family's financial tree, to build an online business around something that you love and to have that impact that you truly desire, is if you learn how to authentically connect with people. I want you to know, hear me when I say this, you were born to make an impact. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly, whether that's 5 people or 5 million people. We all have something inside of us that makes us great. You might not even believe that about yourself right now. In fact, I know for me, there was a time in my life where I couldn't see that in myself. But I see it in you, and I believe in you. And I want to share with you these surprising steps that I learned as I built my own online business, so that you can make a real impact in your life and the lives of others, and give yourself that security and that safety net that I know you want for your family right now. Maybe you're watching this video thinking like, well, Natalie, I've tried something online in the past and I really struggled. If that describes you, I want you to show yourself some grace for a second, and I want you to know that it probably wasn't your fault. What I'm going to show you guys in this video, it's not what most of the other online gurus are going to teach you, okay? They're going to teach you that you have to have the fanciest funnel, or you need to run all these expensive Facebook ads. And the truth is, it's probably just because nobody taught you these things that I want to teach you in this video series. And I don't know about you guys, I love seeing examples of people who have done this. For me, I know it starts to get the wheels turning in my head. So I want to real quick show you. This is Rebecca here. Rebecca, she knew she wanted an online business. She was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. She wanted that lifestyle. She wanted to make an impact and really help people. But Rebecca had no clue what kind of product that she would even want to sell online or what kind of business she'd want to make. And this is the cool part. So I was teaching this to her. She was watching a video very similar to this. And within just a few weeks of implementing all these things I'm going to teach you in this video series here, she completely blew up her audience. She created an online product that she now sells around something that literally was just a passion of hers. I'm going to put this on the screen here. Look what Rebecca said here. She did that in 6 weeks after she implemented the strategies that I want to show you guys in this video series. Isn't that insane? Like, Rebecca did not think that was possible. Now look what she's doing. Like, can you imagine if that happened to you 6 weeks from today? Think about today's date right now. Fast forward 6 weeks, like, can radically change your life. I know you might be watching this video being like, I don't know, who's this Natalie girl and is this even for me? And if you're thinking that, that's a good question. So maybe you're somebody who has always toyed with the idea of having the flexibility of an online business, but maybe you've just never done it before or started anything yet. Maybe you're like I was when I first got started and you just have this feeling inside of you like you were made for more and that you want to make an impact. Okay, if that describes you, that's really, really good. And I always say you're new to this and you don't have like all the dirty bad habits that those of us who've been in business for a while have. And so you're gonna be able to start and get this right the very first time, which is awesome. I just wanna validate you for a second and let you know if that describes you, you're in the right place at the right channel watching the right video right now. Now, some of you guys, maybe you already have an existing business, but maybe you're trying to figure out like, how can I explode this online? Maybe you're doing one-on-one coaching or you have a brick and mortar business or you're trying to sell something online, but it's just not really working. And this is definitely for you as well because I'm going to show you things that you've probably never heard before that are going to help you grow your business in a way that you've probably never even known how to do. And so if you're wondering if what I'm going to show you guys in this video series only applies to me, like to Natalie Hodson, I can promise you that if you follow what I'm going to show you here, this is going to help you grow any type of business regardless of what phase you're in if you follow these things that I'm going to show you. So you might not even know who I am. So for those of you guys who don't, my name's Natalie Hodson, and what's interesting about this whole thing, like the way this whole thing started, my goal, it was never for me to have my own online business or to be speaking on stages to tens of thousands of people. In fact, I was a history major in college. Like I am probably the least techie person you'll ever meet. Even filming this video, I was having tech issues. Half the time I cut off my head. And so for me, this is something that I never saw coming, but it radically changed my whole entire life. So I want to real quick jump in and I'm going to teach you these 3 big secrets that you need to learn and you want to know if you want to start your own online business. And I'm going to teach that here in just a minute. But first, I'm going to explain real quick how I even figured this whole thing out. A little bit about me. I'll put some of this stuff on the screen. I always joke that I'm a secret prepper because I love gardening and fishing and hiking and all those things. But honestly, where it all began was I had my son. He was a 10-pound baby. Anybody else in the big baby club here? I had 2 of them. And in so many ways after my son was born, I was happy. I loved being a mom, but there were days that I just always had this creeping feeling inside of me that I was made for more. And I didn't know how to quiet that feeling. And at the same time, after my son was born, we were drowning in student loan debt. We had almost $170,000 in student loan debt. And I knew that I needed a way to make extra income for our family, or I used to always say we were gonna be slaves to that debt forever. But the problem was, I didn't wanna put my little newborn baby in daycare. Like for me, it was this internal struggle that I had. And so during that time, I was trying to rack my brain to think of any way I could do something from home. And I'll talk about some of the things that I tried that didn't work in this video series. But how this whole thing started is I was home one day and I was scrolling online on Facebook and I saw this funny video that somebody shared online. And it was a commercial for Dollar Shave Club. Anybody else remember this? He's like walking around the warehouse like, our blades are effing great, And it made me laugh. But as I was watching it, a light bulb went on. I thought, what if I tried to do something kind of like what he's doing, but I don't know, maybe just with something I enjoy and I could sell that online, like I don't know, at home workouts. And I wasn't an expert, but I enjoyed working out. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I could make this work. And I did not have tons and tons of money to spend on physical inventory and products like what he was doing. So I liked this idea that I had that it was all online without any physical inventory that I had to buy ahead of time or ship. And I had never done anything like this before, but honestly, I felt like this was the thing that could give me that impact that I wanted and I was craving and give me that income, the that we needed as a family. I reached out to two other friends of mine. They were personal trainers. Their names were Lynn and Drew. And we met up for a weekend and we planned this whole thing out. And in our mind, we were like, this is a slam dunk. Like, people already pay so much for gym memberships. This is going to be a more cost-effective version. Like, how could we even fail? Oh, hindsight is 2020. I was so wrong. And the problem was we were trying to figure this out on our own without somebody really showing us the ropes. And so the concept we had, it was great. We had daily at-home workouts. They were 20 minutes or less. We filmed everything. We put it on the website and we launched it. But the problem was other people weren't as excited about our idea as we were. We just had a really hard time connecting with people to get them to understand us, to trust us, to want to buy our product. You get really excited to try something new and then it flops. I've been there, I know what that feels like, and I didn't ever want that to happen again. I mean, for me, it was embarrassing, it was discouraging. I mean, even worse, we lost a ton of money trying to do this on our own. In fact, I found my tax statement from that year. You can see we lost a ton of money. I mean, money that I could not afford to lose at that time. And so we started to realize, like, okay, we've been doing this all wrong. We just don't know what we've been doing wrong. And the biggest lesson I learned from this experience is that we tried doing this without any real guidance. And it wasn't even necessarily our fault. We just didn't know that we were doing things the wrong way back then. And so it was right around the same time where I was trying to figure out, like, what was I gonna do? You know, like, how are we gonna fix this? And it was during the same time that I had just gone through a divorce. This was my two kids and I at the time. And I was trying to figure out how I was gonna support my two little kids. And it was then that something very unexpected happened. So I was filming all the workouts for that company, and it was all jumping exercises. Anybody want to guess what happened next? Let me remind you, I have had two 10-pound babies. I was doing a workout with only jumping exercises, and it was super embarrassing. I literally peed my pants on camera. Like, on camera. I was mortified. I wanted to take that video and burn it in the trash. I was so embarrassed, but the video ended up getting released, and you know, I wanted to go hide in the closet for like 30 weeks and never show my face again. But it was really interesting what happened. All of a sudden, women started coming up to me and saying, Natalie, oh my gosh, that happens to me too. And that's when I realized that I was onto something here. And I started looking back at any time we had kind of popular-ish posts, and I realized that anytime things started getting shared a lot or kind of going like viral-ish, there was one consistent theme. I was real with people. And whenever I tried to appear perfect, right? Like the perfect body, the perfect life, the perfect highlight reel, it was like crickets. But anytime I was willing to just pull the curtain back and just be real, it was like a magnet. Like, people were drawn to that, and people started connecting with me because they felt like they could relate to me. Even though I did not feel like I was anybody special at the time. And you know, I could have just hid and been embarrassed, which is what I wanted to do. But I thought, you know what? I'm struggling with this. Obviously, other people struggle with this as well. And I started to look around and just think about the experiences I had had in my life, the things that I had gone through. And even if they weren't embarrassing like this one, right? Like, that was super embarrassing. But I just started looking at the other parts of my life, the things I enjoyed, my hobbies, or maybe they were things that people had me ask me questions about, or experiences I had gone through. And I thought, how could I help somebody else in their journey? And how could I talk about my own experiences, my own stories, my own journey that I've been on to genuinely connect with them in a way that makes them feel like somebody understands them? I thought maybe that's the missing piece to the online business puzzle that I've been missing. And remember what we talked about earlier, you guys? People want to feel seen and heard and understood. And so I found a solution to this peeing your pants issue. I partnered with a doctor and we created one type of an online digital product. I'll talk about that here more in the video series. And it took us about 1 month to create it, where we explained why this happens. We gave some exercises you can do to improve it, and we launched it. And I talked about the journey that I had been on along the way. And this is the craziest part of the story. And I don't know, I always share this with some hesitation, I guess, because my personality, I don't know, I get a little uncomfortable sometimes sharing big numbers, but it's also something that I'm really proud of, and I want you guys to see the power of this. So we launched this online digital product in January. Within 4 months of selling this $37 ebook, we hit over $1 million in sales. Like, ebooks, I didn't have to keep physical inventory. I didn't have to spend months making a unique product. I didn't have to have a crazy fancy business plan with a ton of investors. All I did was look at the things in my life that I naturally enjoyed. I pinpointed the areas that people were asking me questions about, even if I wasn't necessarily the expert on the topic. I found ways to tell my own stories to genuinely connect with them, and I found a solution, and I created an online product around that. And it was after this point that everything in my life radically changed. Like all of a sudden I didn't have to stress out about how I was gonna pay for Little League anymore. You know, I think back at that time, and I mean, I had literally gone from rock bottom to all of a sudden having something that I was so proud of and that I had done on my own and that genuinely, truly like helped other people. And this is when I had my big aha moment, and why I wanted to share this with you guys is because I've realized that when I shared my real stories and genuinely connected with people that way, it worked. And if I could create an online digital product around that story or that experience that helped people who might be in similar shoes that I had been, I could sell that online. And I was like, oh my gosh, this works so well. I started thinking, well, what are other areas of my life that I enjoy or that I have an interest in, and how could I create an online digital product around those? And so I like to cook, so it took me about 3 weeks. I created an online crockpot cookbook. I've been pregnant, so I created a pregnancy membership site. I've created paid challenges that help people with mindset when they get stuck, like I had gone through in the past. And today I've done over $4 million in online sales on those kinds of products in just the last 3 years. And I only share this with you because what I'm going to teach you guys in this video series today is exactly how I've grown a multi-million-dollar company online, and that you guys are here right now learning from somebody with that kind of experience. And there is a difference between somebody teaching you who has made 100,000 versus multiple millions online. And although I've done a lot of things right, I promise you there were so many expensive mistakes that I made along the way that I don't want you to have to make. And I want you to know I'm not that special. I'm really not. I'm not that good at that many things. I've just figured this out, and I've taught this to so many different people. I mean, thousands of people at this point, and this works in almost every single niche you could ever imagine. So with that being said, what I'm going to do, guys, is we're going to end this video, and then I want you to join in on the next video, because we're going to do part 2 where I'm going to break down the 3 key secrets that you can implement. I'm going to give you the framework and the strategies and show you why they're important, so that way you can also start your own wildly successful online business. So, I wanted to start by sharing my story, my background, and let you know that I'm not this like big marketing guru. I'm a very normal person, probably just like you guys are watching this right now. I've just figured this out, and I want to share this with you, so hopefully you can also radically change your life as well. So leave a comment if you have any questions, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in part 2.